Okay, got my regulator parts sitting out here. I'm going to wrap some Teflon tape around most of the connections. There are some flare type connections that don't require it. I don't know if I'm going to use it on them or not. Just going to put a couple good coats on there. And then that is reverse thread. Got a crescent wrench and my Harbor Freight crescent wrench that I turned into a twisting wrench. Makes it kind of awkward, but the only other crescent wrench I've got this size. That should be good. Now we want that little nipple right there. We'll go in there, and that should not require any Teflon tape, because again, that is a flare type connection, and the pressure of tightening it up is what seals it. That's good. Make sure that's good and tight on there. That will leak too. In fact, I'm going to take that out and put some Teflon tape on it too. The gauge. Just for shits and giggles, until somebody giggles and shits. That is right thread. No leaky connections here. Now I'll go ahead and unwrap our hose. I have not got my 100-pound propane bottle filled up yet, but I've got a spare 15-pound over there that I use for my patio heater. So once we get this all put together, we'll do a test fire with it. Put the hose clamp on there first. Get that good and tight over there. Now I need a Phillips screwdriver or about an 8mm socket. I don't think I have an 8mm socket out here. I did not have an 8mm socket out here, but I've got a Phillips screwdriver, so we'll do that. It's good and tight. Hose clamp first. And that's good and tight. Now make sure you can see this okay. Okay, now we want to stick the burner in to where it just extrudes out the bottom, or excuse me, out the top of where the wool is at. which is about right there. I'm going to close that momentarily. Get this tightened up. We still good? Yep, we're still good. All right, so kick my tripod. So I got the burner down there and it tightened up those 3 bolts that hold it up in place by hand. I'm going to give them just a little bit of a turn with the wrench, but we won't want to get them gorilla tight because they might bend that pipe, and we certainly don't want that to happen. But we want it to be secure. I'm going to put those rubber gloves back on that I had on the other day to handle this, the extra ceramic wool to pack around this port right here. Okay, got the gloves on. See where that starts and stops at. Oh, and I'll show you something here in a minute. I was looking at the container of that ceramic coating when I first opened it several days ago. I was looking for directions on the back label, and there's no directions in the box that it came in. And well, when I was looking at it the other day, or yesterday, when I came out here to check on this to see if it had dried out enough yet, I looked at the front of the label, and it said right at the bottom, use 2 parts cement to 1 part water, or vice versa. I can't remember which for sure, but it was in very small print, and it wasn't where you would think you would see the directions. So that's a little annoying that all happened, but I don't know. That's not boy, that stuff does flake away. Tear off a layer of it. So right here on the front, in pretty small print, right underneath the label, mix 2 parts ITC 100 HT with 1 part water. So, now you know. Alright. That is kind of crooked. Where'd my wrench go? That's better. I'm going to push my coal forge out of the shed. So I've got something that's not wood to sit this thing on. We're going to hook a propane tank up to it and light her up, see what happens. After I get some soapy water and spray my gas connections to make sure there's no bubbles. Okay, we got the forge sitting up on my coal forge. Got the regulator hooked up to the 15-gallon tank or 15-pound tank. I did disassemble this part of the regulator, and this piece came with the regulator. I forgot that nowadays we have that big plastic knob on these, but this screws inside of there. So I took this piece off, screwed it inside of the tank, and then threaded this onto that adapter. So we're good there. I'm going to turn the pressure on this down some. open up the tank. That is obviously opened over there. Now we'll open up the tank. We are pressurized. I left my soapy water sitting over on the table. Okay, we're going to spray our connections. Maybe. There we go. No leaky. No leaks there. I'm going to go put a dog inside, just in case. Okay, for the record, tightening this valve makes it have more pressure. So, oop, I left the plastic wrapped around my fire brick. Slide that guy right back in there. Stick a piece of paper in there, close the door, light it on fire, then open a valve. We're burning. A little more pressure. Obviously we're lit. Definitely some good heat coming out of there. Alright, well, we're just going to let it sit there like that for a little while. Give it some time to cure before we crank it up full speed. Then we'll throw some metal in there and get some metal red. Thanks for watching.